Arca Bulls family, what is up, everybody? Let me know if you can hear your boy speak. Throw those A's in the chat right now. Throw those A's in the chat if you can hear your boy speak. Can't even speak the English right now. What is up, you guys? Really happy to be here. I know it must have been a little loud right now, but we're just going to go ahead and level out this volume right here so we can make sure that we're streaming nicely. What is up, my people? How's it going? Moderator Samantha H, Sebastian Lim, Cal L. Good to see you guys here. Good to see you guys. What's up, Monster Mike? My battle. Stick Vicious. What's up, guys? What's up, T Wood? John Smith. All good, guys. Remember, the list is gonna pop up real shortly here. Okay, so you're gonna be able to see the tickers that we're gonna be covering. I definitely got some MULN up in there. I definitely got some requests. Okay, so I'm speaking directly to the people who spoke to me early in the comments, right? So I've added some of those tickers into the list as well. Okay, you guys. So MULN in there, CDSG, got you, Dan, and One Fix It Man, of course, NGK23. So is this the one right here that you're looking at? I'm sure you can see the screen now, right? So it is definitely this ticker, correct? And yeah. So Yomo, CRTD earnings coming up, right? Very interesting. Yes, we'll definitely go ahead and take a look at that one as well. All right, Daniel Campbell, what's up? How's it going? John Smith, yes, we're going to be looking at ARQQ. So, Crystal Pete, you're talking about MMTLP? Is that actually, I know there's a huge movement going on with that, right? But is that actually still doing a thing? I didn't know that, personally myself. I'm sorry that I'm not actually tracking it anymore, right? But is that I thought it was delisted, or was that MMAT? I'm not as familiar as I should be with these, right? So MMTLP, I'm actually not able to see it. Pistol Pete, are you sure that's or how are you trading that, by the way? Because it's not coming up in my symbol search here, which is very curious. All right, but yeah, no problem. I mean, if you can get another ticker for that, then I'm absolutely willing to look at it for you, right? So yeah, let me go ahead and add that one into the list right here, right? So we'll go ahead and get that one in there. What's up, Lil AR? Good to see you. And PYXS, man, that ticker made such a huge move, didn't it? So we'll go ahead and leave that one in the chat here, right? So on the list at least. So let's go ahead and put it just like this and take a look. Oh, all right. So you're looking at MMAT. Do you think it could be that one, or was it for real that the MMTLP asset was the one that was taken out of the thing? Is that it? So let me see if I can actually search for that other. Yeah, what was it? MMAT. We'll leave it in there, guys. We'll leave it in there and we'll see what we can do. Right. So. James saying, "Hola maestro, Sparky here. Excellent class today." Absolutely, man. I'm really happy to have all the students in the master course today, man. I loved it. It feels like we're moving forward. We're definitely going to be able to mentor a couple students that may be having some trouble here and there, as I am getting a few emails, right? So we'll get it going, guys. It's just like the office hours quote, right? So we'll get that figured out. And whoever was asking me for MMAT, I'll leave it in the schedule here, you guys. So we'll try our best to get there, and everything will be cool. And right, so already moving, right? One Fixin' Man, it's feeling pretty good, right? So and WB saying for BRDS, was that one that we? I know it made a pretty good move, and actually Sebastian Lim and I were actually talking about this ticker along with a few other people in the. Along with a few other people in the Discord, so we were able to catch, a few of those targets, right? These were those arrows that I was talking to them about, and I hope that there was some serious gainage here, right? So I'm very excited over what this ticker ended up making on that next day. So yeah, we'll go ahead and leave it on the schedule as well, okay? So let's see. Somebody also asked me about that ticker symbol CEOS. Johnny Barnes, INM is on the schedule. It's right up here. Where is it? Right there. It's number 4. So yeah, somebody asked me about CEOS. We'll go ahead and look at that one too, right? All good. And what is that one, by the way? That one sounds familiar. I'm not gonna lie. What is that? LGMK. It says Darren Darren Gander, is that how you pronounce your last name? I'm sorry, I don't mean to I don't mean to butcher any names here, right? It's just sometimes you have to just kind of say it real quick, real fast, and hope for the best, right? So yeah, no problem. Let me go ahead and put I'm sorry, I'm missing you one more time. Let me see, Derek. So LGMK, we'll go ahead and leave it on the schedule too. Okay, so that is something that I haven't looked at before, so let me just load it up as a new ticker. And okay, gotcha, perfect. And that's LGMK. All right, so all right, logic mark. Cool. I've never actually heard about this. Let's see. So okay. All right, no problem. It's on there. All right, everything is good. Yeah. I'm sure that you're going to be able to notice the difference between my actual setup and the USB mic, right? Not bad, but not quite as present as the other microphone with the preamp, right? So it's literally versing what is it, like a $350 USB XLR mic versus like a $3,000 setup, you know, with a larger condenser mic, tube emulation, and also a tube preamp and all that. So, you know, it kind of does a little bit of a difference, but it's all good. I think it's audible enough, and it actually does give the primary gear a break, right? Because we've been actually torturing that gear all the way through these ticker pickers. So I do need to make sure that gear stays up to par, right? Because it's like I've been driving. It sounds good still? Okay, good. As long as it does sound good. Oh, yeah. You guys, thank you so much for that. Right, by the way, I forgot to do that. Let me just go ahead and dim it down just a little bit so it doesn't actually have to compete against my voice. But yeah. So I do think that it does sound pretty good, right? But we just want to make sure that we can extend the longevity from the other gear as well. But everything is good. Everything is good in the hood. Chat, very, very appreciative for everybody coming in here. What's up, Mr. Levitz? So please make sure to like the video. Please make sure to subscribe to the channel, and everything will be good, right, you guys? So we're gonna get this roll. We're gonna just roll. Wow. Can't talk right now. We're gonna get this rolling pretty soon. Oh my goodness, man. So Johnny Barnes saying it sounds sexy. That is good to know, and that is very, very good to consider right here, guys. Arca sounding sexy. Devil horns up in the air. Yeah. So I am really appreciative over this, right? It's a very curious little mic. It's the Shure MV7, right? I got some insurance on it, so it ended up coming to about $330 or $340, right around there. And it does have a lot of features. What I liked was the fact that you can actually have it as just a USB mic, or it can actually be put as a you know, analog mic too, which is very, very cool, right? So I'm usually an analog guy myself. I'm very old school in that way, but it's all good, right, Cal? Damn it, man. There we go. Shouldn't have said nothing yet, right, Cal? God, man, I need to prepare that one. All right, so we're going to be taking a look at the broader markets first, you guys, and I did get a request to look at nat gas right over here, so we're going to be looking at that one as well. Okay, not prepared for many things today, right? So wow, so this is a huge capitulation on this, and yeah, I mean, no problem, guys. We can see this real quick. Okay, yeah, we'll make sure to pop this into the broader markets, because it is good for us to consider these tickers as well. Okay, so we'll load up some volatility, we'll load up some momentum, our moving averages, and all of that good stuff that we always use, right? So as there is a potential something happening on the daily, right? So I know that, I mean, that's a huge, so much bear activity here, but there is something happening. All right, so let's see, dollar gapped up on the pre-market. Nice. Oh my goodness. So, yeah, this can do something, right? So how much, One Fixin' Man, how much is a contract for this, by the way? I am not sure how to actually trade the futures contracts, right? Because I've only traded crypto futures, not equity futures. So what is it going for today? Is exactly what you're looking at there, or how does that work? Sebastian Lim saying BRDS. Yes, we got it on the list. We'll be looking at BRDS as well. Lots of popular tickers, right? So please remember, guys, that this is going to be essentially our market prep for tomorrow. Man, I really wanted to attach that freaking link real quick, man. I logged in on my laptop and not here in the main system. Oh, I see how. Okay, so just the way it shows up. Okay, gotcha. It's currently 279, right? 2079 or something like that. All right, good deal. But yeah, guys, without any further ado, let's just go ahead and dive right into the analysis here. I'm going to go ahead and put up, let's see, what time is it right now? Okay, so I know we're coming in a little bit earlier today, guys, but it's really in respects to some of the East Coast people. Right, so right now, Barry, what's the breaking news? Share with the community here. Let me know what you're looking at for MMTLP breaking news. What is that? John Smith, we got ARQQ on the list as well. Good deal. AIB, hey Arca, did you see the tweet from? No, I didn't. Nick, thank you so much for that donation, my friend. That really means so much. But AIB, what tweet was it regarding? Was it regarding the SEC stuff? About they're not doing nothing about nothing? Is that what we're looking at? I actually, One Fix It Man was talking about that just a little bit earlier, right? I forgot. One Fix It Man, what was that again? You were talking about this. It's floating around Twitter. You said, right? Is that what you're talking about? The Freedom of Info Act. Yeah, I got emails between SEC and FINRA. That one. Yeah. Oh man. So is that the reason why I'm being asked to pull up MMAT? You guys think that it can metamaterials can actually make that upside? I mean, we never know, right? So is there was it directly correlated to metamaterials? Yes, definitely agreed. Moderator Cal saying, Nick, nice donation, keeps the stream purring along. It definitely does, man. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. And of course, that's what I was doing, right? So we were in the process of getting your request in. And also, guys, remember that Tesla is definitely something that we should consider for the broader markets, right? We usually end up looking at 1, 2, or 3 tickers for the broader markets. Sometimes that tends to be like the SPY or the NDX and BTC. It can be. We've done even Boyle. We've done SPY and NDX. So there are a lot of options that we can do here. What's up, Mark Roach? Moderator Mark Roach coming into the chat. What's up, dude? Good to see you. So that CRKN ticker was the one that we looked at the last time, right? So, yeah, that was the one that we looked at the last time. I was curious about that one. We were noticing that there could have. All right, so it is actually doing what we were talking about, right? So. Look at the here you go. This one's for you, Mark. Mark Roach. Pay some attention here, bro. Check this out. Okay, so let me just keep into consideration. Man, it's literally following what we said, isn't it? So this is that critical test. You're gonna face a bounce very soon. Okay. So and I'm talking about the bounce could be already happening or it could be very near. So let me just look for it real quick because I did look at this after that day, which is very rare. I don't usually like to see the tickers after I talk about them, right? So, okay, on the hourly time frame and the bi-hourly time frame, you have this limited upside, okay? This limited upside is what I'm speaking of, that we were going to come back down, right, to a relevant area of support. Then we would likely bounce to the upside and start validating this area as a resistance to create that formation called an Adam and Eve, right? So I want to express some serious danger here, okay? So as soon as the daily gets seen by the markets, or as soon as the daily sees the market price action from Friday, after hours is what I mean, right? Then we'll likely, shift this all the way to the downside and find a bounce, okay? So that bounce can be a pretty nice move to the upside, but it does have a lot of resistance, okay? So I was afraid of actually seeing what I'm looking at right now, okay? So there is a potential 14% run to about a 21% run in the next day, okay? So Mark, please know that there is in line some type of bounce here, okay? But I don't want you to try to chase this like as a long, because the fact here is that once this play breaks this inflection point, what you want to do is actually wait for the bounce and rip upside of this. Literally wait for this thing to run as high as it can. Then it would come back and validate this area as a support, and then continue on to the upside. Okay, because right now it's trying to actually fulfill an Adam and Eve formation. Okay, so this Adam and Eve is a bearish formation. The last thing you want it to do is do this, right? And then it actually fails. So don't get long on this. You got to be a conservative trader in this perspective, in my personal opinion, of course. Okay, so Stick Vicious, my battle coming in very, very cool with your donations, my dude. Thank you so much. That means a great deal to me, and it means a great deal to my family as well. You guys know I'm trying very hard for the retail community here, so no problem, guys. That's very good. Okay, so yes, Mark Roach, keep your eye on this, okay, because this one could be making a pretty nice short. Okay, so if I'm not sure if you're a short bias trader, but this could present a pretty nice opportunity for short, and the likely take profit would be around that 9-cent level. Okay, so just this one's for you, Mark. Okay, thank you for everything you do for me, my dude. So let me just go ahead and finish off here with CRKN, right? And I myself was curious about it. Okay, so I'll leave it here as a ticker that we did cover. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm just gonna have to adjust the time for the starting for the ticker symbol SPY. So let's just go ahead and start off now with the ticker symbol SPY. Okay, so I'm already seeing it. Are we gonna do the calls? Are we gonna do puts? What are we gonna do for the SPY? That's a curious question. I know. All right, so we're breaking up. Oh man, this is very good, you guys. We're breaking upside of a very critical resistance. Okay, we spoke about this resistance just recently, so we need it. All right, so it looks like this asset is wanting to realize the true price objective, right? That 417.02. Don't think that I'm just saying that we're gonna go there right away. Okay, so what I'm saying is that this is a higher probability now, just based on price action. Yeah, Mark, I see. Jeez, this was a serious thrust, right? So we were already kind of looking at that upside, right? A little bit of resistance here, but we pierced straight through that, which I did not expect, to be honest. So let's see. Oh, right, it was in respects of the good I think it was PCE data, right? So the core PCE came in pretty good. It's looking like SPY calls for sure, you guys. So Rocky Mountain Gobblers, what's up? Good to see you here. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and continue on the analysis here for SPY and definitely validate our potential upside thesis. Okay, so let's start off with the immediate short-term time frame momentum. Okay, so it's looking like, this is looking like it's finding some pretty good support even within the overextended area. So we're definitely overbought here, right? But we still have per this iteration here on December 13th, we still have a pretty good way to go. 93.64% historically speaking, right? And we're currently sitting at about 81. So definitely still some pretty nice upside to see before a very short-term pullback on the 30-minute. Okay, so now let's look at the bi-hourly. Bi-hourly, very likely going to continue to the upside, and the reason why I tell you this is because I don't really like to trust these pivots as a turning point, right? So you have a tiny pivot here, it failed. You have a tiny pivot here, it failed. It looks like we're building another little tiny pivot here. Yes, it is larger, right? But please pay attention to this one here, right? So it's around the same size as this one. Even if it goes down just a little bit, it may actually favor the continuation to the upside. Let's see the 6 hour. 6 hour also with that tiny little pivot action, right? And except that this pivot is pivoted towards the upside, so it's actually favoring the bulls in this situation. So it's looking good. It's looking very good. 8 hour time frame in the gravitational zone of the bull strength percentile. Very likely for this continue on to the upside. Nice. And same thing with that little tiny pivot on the 12 hour. But when we start getting into the upper time frames, it looks like there is a massive continuation onto the upside via momentum RSI and momentum stochastic. Okay, so I want you to notice here that this regression line is definitely being suggested. Okay, so if there isn't a chance to break out of this, it may actually be this time around. Okay, so this is a pretty significant upside pivot here coming from critical contraction. Okay, what I want you to pair it with is the RSI, because it still has an upside to go, and we're barely piercing into the bull strength percentile. So this is good. This is very good. Okay, so let's move on to the buy daily and see what kind of upside we have there. Buy daily in the gravitational zone here, very likely going to continue on to the upside for the next few days. Okay, so man, yeah, this is. But guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Okay, if we do get the chance to reach that 417.02 area, an immediate pullback can be expected from that area back down to around 408. Okay, so it's going to be it could be a very drastic drop. Okay, 410.45 versus the 408, right? So first 410 and then 408. All right, so if you are playing calls, I would consider maybe keeping an eye on your 416 target. Okay, so definitely not to the top. Okay, don't do that. Don't gamble it like that. Just take your profits and run. Okay, just take them. All right, so very interesting setup here on the stochastic momentum oscillator on the buy daily, right? So it looks like we have upside coming in for multiple days, actually, guys. So this is very powerful. Look at this. The 3-day iteration contracting still, and we still have a very powerful upside suggestion. In fact, in the 3-day, we're barely entering the bull strength percentile here, or the bullish control zone from stochastics. So this is impressive by all means, guys. This is looking very good. Okay, so I'm honestly eyeing. I'm really look at this right here. Very nice cross above the 14-day simple. I'm definitely eyeing that 417, guys. Okay, so I know it's kind of a bit of a ways away from our current price action right now, right? But it actually looks more likely than not. And not only that, it's just we're getting a serious pump everywhere, right? Even crypto is doing very nice. So yeah, I mean, don't take it from my word, right? It's only my personal opinion. But yeah, it's looking like we may actually have some indices pressuring some price action to the upside. When this type of situation happens to where we're actually seeing more upside from the majors, right, than the downside from the others, when we're starting to see more of a probable upside from the majors, this can be a pretty good opportunity to start trading the larger caps, right? So your IBMs, your American Airlines, your Home Depots, like those types of tickers, guys, usually would actually present a pretty bullish outlook for your portfolio, right? So consider looking at the top tier stocks, right? And yeah, in this situation right here, this would also present a pretty interesting opportunity to long against the market, right? So for example, your Qs, right? So we can actually look at the SQQQ in this situation here, and you can actually short this, right? So this would very likely continue to the downside, and it would continue to the downside for, wow, very likely to actually see new lows very soon. Okay, so this could be a long puts option, but remember that this is 3 times levered. The SQQQ is 3 times your entry, right? So please, this is an ultra pro short, right? So the pro shares are very dangerous because they are levered, so they can triple your gain or they can triple your losses. So be very careful with this. But playing put options on the SQQQ wouldn't be a bad idea, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. I wanna talk about NGK, the natural gas futures here. Okay, so because there is something happening here on the daily chart. Okay, and it's looking like there could be a potential floor, right? But we also don't want to just call that. You know, I get it. I do see a very nice little hammer candle here, but to its fairness, it's just not significant enough. What I'm looking at here is the contraction phase from volatility, and also the fact that we're starting an upside pivot here from stochastic momentum. So that's not a bad thing whatsoever. Okay, so I like what's happening within this. Okay, so now let's just go ahead and validate the potentials here, because there could be higher time frame potential here as well. Look at this. We're expanding into critical volatility here. We're almost maxed out. We're about to start that curvature towards the upside on the buy daily setup here. So this now gets me curious over the smaller time frames. Okay, so upside pivot on the 12-hour, but now I would actually have to see some averages and see what we have in the way. Let's just see what can possibly obstruct natural gas from continuing here. Okay, so 7L28 Nat Gas, got it. Thank you, One Fixin', man, very kind of you. So yeah, we do have. We are right around the mean right now on the 12-hour. Let me pull up the reversion variant and see what we have, because we could very well be near. Oh, okay. So if we're starting to revert, let me pull up one more algo here, guys, just a sec, and let me see what we can do. Okay. So I'm gonna pull up another variant here and see what they're. Oh my goodness. That this is, yeah. It's interesting that we are at the mean, but we're not at the mean. So let me look at the daily too. This is actually very curious. 6 hour, let's see. Oh wow, there is a nice setup on the 6 hour and the 8 hour. Okay, so these time frames, guys, there's something very powerful here. I now see why the mean is above us instead of at the mean in respects to the 12 hour, right? So like the 12-hour chart is suggesting that we are at the mean, but the earlier time frames or the shorter time frames are essentially giving us the possibility of a pretty nice run to the upside tomorrow, or even tonight. It's just almost, it's immediate though. Okay, so let's see. Price action sitting currently at about $2.08, right? So all the way down here, we're right at the mean band. So let me also pull up the. Very curious. We're also at the mean band in the smaller algo. So this would potentially make a nice 20%, 21% run very soon. Critical contraction here below the 15 percentile. What we want to see is actually the volatility component to start. Okay, it's already doing it. So we wanted to see it start expanding and also influencing the moving average beyond the 15 percentile. So very likely for this to happen soon, very soon. Okay, so yeah, this could be a 20% run to the upside over the short-term period. Okay, you guys. So keep an eye on your NGK 2023. This is looking not bad whatsoever. Okay, Moderator Hound, what is up? What is up? Okay, so yeah, you guys. So this is it's looking bullish as all hell. I can't even deny it myself. Okay, so let's see. I'm trying to find a reason why it wouldn't, right? I'm for real trying to find that, guys. So consolidation on the RSI 30-minute bi-hourly. Let's see what the 6 hour is saying. 6 hours giving us a very short-term downside, critical support from that 14-day simple. Very nice. The 8 hour is also at support. The 12 hour is arguably at support and potential cross to the upside too. Okay, so the daily, yeah, okay. So if this thing ends up playing the way I'm thinking, then the upside is very short-lived. Okay, so we could see an upside to this target here, which is gonna be at about 253. Let me see what the target is on the mean of the 6 hour. 251. Okay, so also you have your SMA 100 at the 6 hour right at that target, and also the SMA 100 on the 8 hour right at that target as well. Very likely for us to see an upside thrust before a failure here. Okay, you guys, 253, and it would essentially come right back down, test the current highs at about 225, and then further the downside. So there is an opportunity here to get long this for a very short term. And then actually I can see this failing. Okay, so keep an eye on this. All right, you guys. So that's going to do it for NGK 23. So let's go ahead and now take a look at Tesla, which is yet again another one of those tickers that can pressure the markets and continue on to the upside. So we actually did see this particular setup on the daily on Thursday, sorry, right? So Nat Gas end at 7:33. Thank you, my brother. So guys, I did speak about the potentials of Tesla reclaiming the inside of the channel, right? So it looks like it has done that essentially, right? So what does it mean for price action though? So let's go ahead and move into a smaller time frame, and a time frame of which I'm sure that we've actually looked at before. Okay, so let me just make it like this and see what we have. Okay, what is the 8 hour saying in the raw price action? Let's see. Very nice activity here, man. Oh man. Okay, so now we're inside of the channel for sure. Very, very
bullish set of candles here, okay? So very nice, okay? So now if you're T Wood, this is your candle right here, okay? This is literally in the medium, the Maruzoku, I forgot what it was called, that candle, right? So this would be it here, my dude, in the center, in the middle of the price action, right? So that's a continuation candle, right? And it's also in the 8-hour, very minimum that I personally like to look at, right? So it definitely could consider a continuation to the upside, right? So yes, let's go ahead and let me just make sure that I have it in my notes here as well. Thank you so much. One Fixer, man, you're the best, brother. So let's continue on the analysis here, okay? So you said 7:34 p.m. Good deal. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and move on and look at the 30-minute immediate short-term time frame. Before we look at all the volatility versus momentum setup, I want to see the RSI to see if we have any type of pullback coming in the short term. So this 30-minute doesn't necessarily scream out a pullback. In fact, it actually just screams out some consolidation for the immediate short term. Let's tiny pivot again, you guys. You know I don't really trust those. Nice hint here from the 14-day simple, still suggesting a nice upside. 6-hour time frame. Let's see what it's got. It's sitting within the gravitational zone here, but we have a very nice upside pivot from the 14-day simple. Could actually fail that little pivot and continue on to the upside. 12-hour similar situation with an upside pivot on that 14-day simple. Man, everything's kind of rhyming at the same pace. Daily time frame entering the bullish control zone. This is very much like the SPY. Okay, so the buy daily as well with an upside pivot crossing above that 14-day simple moving average. Very important. Okay, so now let's look at the 3-day. All right, 3-day also barely crossing above that 14-day simple in the gravitational zone, likely to continue on to the upside for a few days, just like the SPY. Okay, so what we're looking at now, you guys, is actually two, let me see, how many time frame setups do we have? Actually, wow. Oh, okay. Man, okay, so we potentially have G-Bus. Wow. Wow, so, okay, 4-hour. I'm looking at volatility versus momentum. Sorry. So right here, coming out of critical contraction into expansion past the 15 percentile with an upside pivot, and also stochastics with an upside pivot. So we have that set up on the 6-hour. Let's look at, the 4-hour, right? We have the setup in the 6-hour as well. The 8-hour time frame also. Now the volatility component is actually crossing above the 15 percentile. We want the moving average to upside pivot in the stochastics. All right, 12-hour time frame also with that similar setup with an upside pivot. Everything is kind of pointed to the moon here, guys. So critical contraction here with an upside pivot and upside pivot on stochastics on the daily. By daily, it's still contracting actually. Still contracting from a critical expansion and still has an upside pivot. This is now a different upside setup. Critical volatility here touching that 15 percentile with a reversal and an upside pivot. Guys, there's multiple time frames here suggesting an upside continuation, and this in particular, the 5-day is starting its contraction phase, and we're in the bullish control zone here with an upside pivot. Guys, ticker symbol Tesla is another one to kind of play some calls on right now, because this or sell some calls or something. I don't know. This is very likely going to continue on to the upside for a few days at least. Okay, so unless it just kind of burns all throughout unless it burns through the fuel in just one shot here, but it's very likely that I see Tesla continue on to the upside. Okay, you guys. So the most obvious target here to kind of take into consideration would actually be a few of them, right? So first, we need to see the rejection from about 211 to 220. Very likely to find a rejection, come back down to test the 207.54, reload for some longs, right? And then continue on to the resistance between 215 and about 217.65. Beyond that, guys, there is a very nice little slide here that we can actually consider for some pretty nice price action that just so happens to take us to the top side of our channel, right? So I'm going to put it to the opening of the candle here and also to the resistance or also to the resistance of this candle here. Okay, so if you can see right over here, then yeah, there could be a potential that we can touch upside of this target here, 223. Let's see if we can actually take the wick right into this area here, or actually this one here would be more particular to me. So let's make a little box there, and that would essentially give us the resistance range, right? So just like this is kind of what I'm looking at, and let's see. Yeah, now this makes a little more sense. Coming up to the resistance of the channel itself before finding some type of rejection, right? So we'll continue taking a look at this, guys. So I forgot what time frame we were looking at. Was it the 12-hour? I think it may have been the 12-hour or the 4-hour. Could it have been? Something like that. We'll figure it out though, guys, but it's looking very nice. Let me pull up the 12-hour time frame and pull up some fibs real quick before we move on and see if anything rhymes with that topside target, our discretionary target, right? So overall range low to the range low to the range high, right? So 2.618 coming in at about 226.87. So the upside targets, our discretionary targets are, let's see, they are located right over here. Okay, so 226.39, 227.86 at the 1.618. Very likely for us to find resistance within that 2.272 and very near the 2.618. In fact, if I was trading trade to the 2.618, I would likely take profits just slightly under the 226 area. I would probably take profits in between the golden mean and the 2.272, in my personal opinion. Okay, Stick Vicious, thank you for your donation, dude. That really means a lot. I absolutely love it, man. Thank you very much. And for tomorrow Eve's ticker picker, after hopefully a good day tomorrow, COSM, I will definitely add it into the list, and we'll make sure to take a look at that. Okay, so here we go, COSM, and we'll definitely look at for ticker picker. Got it. Okay, I got it on the list. All right. Perfect. So that's going to do it for ticker symbol Tesla, you guys. Everything is looking very nice for this ticker. And it is actually, man, it's trying to really break market structure here, guys. It seems like something is a brewing here. Something is a brewing. So Mark Roach saying, COSM, I've been accumulating that ticker, man. I hear that even within my family. I hear that even within everybody, man. It seems like COSM is about to make a little ripper ticker pretty soon, right? So thank you, One Fixin', man. That's so kind of you. Okay, so now, guys, let's go ahead and move on to the next very heavily requested ticker, and we're going to be looking at ticker symbol MULN. And ticker symbol MULN Automotive has made a very impressive run to the upside, and we were actually looking at this possibility on, I think, Thursday, right? We were looking at the potentials of continuing onto the upside, but first we needed to get this test back down to this. I don't want to say a demand zone; it could just be a relevant geometric target, right? Because the only way that we were able to see where we were was by taking a fib, right, from the overall range, and we actually did notice that we would essentially dive right in between the golden pocket, right, between the knot 382 and the knot 618. So we in fact got that very touch that we talked about and continued on to the upside. I like the price action. Okay, so what I don't like, however, what I really don't like is this massive shooting star here, right? So this candle here could potentially invalidate it, but I would really have to look at one more candle here, as that candle does not present enough of it wouldn't present enough information for us to consider a downside or an upside, right? In fact, if anything, it still looks like we could be accumulating within the stochastics itself, just like this, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to start a downside. It really does mean that it could be either, right? So let's start off with the immediate short-term time frame momentum and see what we got. Okay, so potential resistance here on the 30-minute, but it's more than likely this is more than likely consolidation, just like here, right? So we have a little bit of a bounce from the gravitational zone, rejected from the top side of the gravitational zone. We came back down to the opposing gravitational zone. We rejected. We came right back up. We're still within the gravitational zone and finding resistance from that 14-day simple. So this could be indicative of some sideways trading within the 30-minute time frame, just like this. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at the bi-hourly time frame and see what we have. CRTD is definitely coming up. We have it in the schedule here after INM All right, so definitely stay tuned for that. Bi-hourly also giving us a little bit of resistance from that 14-day simple. Very curious times here, okay? So 6-hour time frame, let's see what it's got. I hate these little pivots, guys. Sometimes we feel like we may actually make an upside continuation here, but it doesn't always play out. What I would like to kind of notice here, have everybody notice here, is that we did have a very similar pivot here, okay? But in the respects of this pivot, which I did call, we were in the gravitational zone, and I said likely we can actually use it as a bounce and then continue on to the upside. Okay, so we're closer to the gravitational zone here, but I would feel like the bias is closer towards the center of the bull weakness percentile. Okay, so blah, 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 blah. You know, so definitely keep a close eye on that 6-hour time frame, as that there may be a little bit of trickery there. Okay, some consolidation here on the 12-hour time frame, but please know that we still have, it looks like it still has some upside to go here. Very limited consolidation or sideways trading here, right? So if we're going to get an opinion, let's go to the upper time frames. Gravitational zone here on the daily, very nice cross above the 14-day simple, landing very close to it actually. It looks like a very likely continuation onto the upside. Please, just a sec, guys. Is that me, hon? Sorry, I thought somebody was actually at my door there. So, yeah, please go ahead and take a look at the 14-day simple moving average below our RSI signal here on the bi-daily. Very nice price action happening for the MULN asset, right? So, no way, is it really that? Let's look at the float on this thing. Jeez, 1.51 billion. Yeah, that's quite inflated. That's crazy, man. So let's continue on the analysis here, guys. So 3-day time frame also making an upside here. Okay, it looks to be a little limited, but that is very likely to find some macro time average there or something, right? So let's just go ahead and pull up the ARC averages and see what we have. Yeah, it could, on the 3-day time frame, it could be the 17-cent target, which would then give us a range to look out for, right? So first of all, the 17-cent target at the SMA 10, followed by the 18-cent target that I was actually saying that we were going to go down to from a month ago or something, right? So very, very curious here, okay, that we would actually find a resistance here. We have several areas of support below it too, okay? So we would actually have to test 13 to about 15 as a valid area of support before continuing on to the upside. So there's still a few rules that need to be kind of taken into account here. What I would like to point out, however, is that there are some upper time frame setups here on volatility versus momentum. Okay, so this particular setup that you're looking at here, I really would have loved if this volatility reached the 90 percentile at least, but it's still within the 80, right? And it's now contracting. So there could there is a potential of a mean reversion right now. So and we're currently at it, but the bi-daily may actually give us that mean. Okay, so 22 cents on the bi-daily. We're starting to revert here, and we're starting to pitch to the upside. Okay, so yeah, there is kind of a, oh man, the actual setup is within the 3-day time frame. This is the setup here, guys. So if we are able to succeed in upside here, the 3-day iteration is going to close in 17 hours and 11 minutes. So very likely for us to see the closure on Tuesday, and we would see the effects of that closure on Wednesday on volatility versus momentum. So if this actually continues on to the upside on this 3-day iteration, that would not only suggest a continuation onto the upside, but it would also validate this the bullish hammer down there on the 3-day, right? So that actually starts to carry some weight for us. And I would definitely like to see what can happen here, right? So, and the mean reversion on the 3-day would be a 25-cent target, of which would take you just above the 3.618 golden mean. So that does rhyme pretty nicely. Okay, so it seems as though there is a pretty nice setup happening here within MULN. I would really, really, really consider being extremely careful with ticker symbol MULN, because we have seen several plays that have been invalidated and almost just fell, right? So please remember, you guys, all right, there's a lot of There's a lot of sentiment here within ticker symbol MULN, meaning that at any point, at any pump, if you can recover 13, 8%, 12% of your loss, you would actually pull out entirely, leaving everybody else in a liquidity trap, right? So please know that there is a lot of there's just a lot of danger within ticker symbol MULN. Okay, you guys just be very careful with this ticker. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to talk trash on any type of stock. I'm just saying that this ticker has a lot of it's psychologically impaired, to put it into an easier word, right? So Andrew, thank you for your donation, my dude. So downside ranges to target for GTII, expecting pullback downside after 1800 long from how low and how long, right? So who was speaking about that? Somebody was talking about the downside. So yeah, guys, that's gonna do it for ticker symbol MULN. Somebody was talking about the 800 law from being delayed to, I think it was May. Was that the case? If there is going to be a type of downside here, guys, it's going to be more than likely an overreaction. But please know that the GTII community itself is growing, and this could present a very interesting situation. Thank you, Unfixit. This would present a very interesting situation for a reloading zone. If it did for me myself, I would honestly go in a little harder. So, it would be a very curious drop because we are at a very important mean. Okay, so if I'm looking at a downside, we could very likely test once again the mean here on the Gaussian channel weekly time frame. So that would be about 171. And if it does go to 171 or even 156, that would be an explosive opportunity for getting long this ticker. Personally speaking, right? So I'm not actually speaking on anyone else, right? So Miss L, what's up? Saying, I'm sorry I'm late, taking care of the elderly parents. Very happy to hear that. Definitely spent some time with mom and dad, right? So, and also very happy to see you here, Miss L. So, yeah, let's go ahead and continue on. Yeah, literally what Andrew said, reload zone, please share. So I'm really thinking that 171 to the lowest area of about 156, I said, right? Let me pull that up right here, right? So about 156 would be a flash wick to that area, right? And we could actually face a continuation to the upside. As historically speaking, GTII has made some pretty momentous moves when presenting itself upside of the mean from the Gaussian channel, right? So, not every move is going to be impressive, right? But it's historically it has done that. Like for example, here we just had lots of accumulation upside of that band, and then continued on to a massive upside, right? So that's here's another one. We just succeeded the band. We started validating it as support, and then continued on to the upside. By the way, this is way longer of a consolidation period or a reaccumulation period than we are presently right now. This is in fact pretty short-lived, right? So there is that potential. I'm just saying that in case it does kind of sell off immediately or there is an overreaction, 156 to about 171 would be that zone to look out for. Of course, I wouldn't actually, put my life savings onto that, right? Because remember that still there's a lot of fuckery within this ticker, right? So Darren Gander saying, when are the 306 million on shares being converted? That is a good question, guys. Please go ahead and elaborate. Chat, let me know, when are the 306 million shares going to be converted? Okay, we're talking about the dividends, the dividend, right? Darren, is that what you're asking? I'll buy more GTII at 148. 148 could also be a possibility, to tell you the very honest truth. In fact, if we are looking at macro bottoms, this would be very likely an area to consider, about $1.41 to 142. 140 to 142, in fact. Okay, so I'm not saying that we can actually make it that low, but if there is a possibility, it's being presented as not too far away on the weekly time frame. So that's enough to make some people put their bids in there, right? So definitely watch out with that. I'll also put a line right over here just so we can kind of refer back to it, right? 156. And then, you know what? I'll just draw a box to get that 171 included within that 156 package, right? So let's do it just like this. Okay, so here we go. And like that. Okay. Yeah, it's as you've seen that the past 1, 2, 3 weeks we have used this the Gaussian channel mean as a very, very important area of support, right? So good deal here. So let's see. Let's continue on reading on this chat. Let's see. So Jerry F saying, when am I going to make money with my Wells Fargo stuff? Oh my goodness, I don't know, man. But it seems like the banks are gonna be in that reparation phase now, right? Now that they're getting that bailout. Very interesting times there. So let's go ahead and move on to the next ticker, you guys. So let's go. Let's see. We have INM on the list. Okay, so let's see. Let me just make sure that I included in my notes here. Okay, INM. Let's go ahead and move right along and see what we have going for us. Okay, you guys. So let's see if we can actually identify any type of trend here, which of course we can already see, right? It's essentially a descending channel, right? Something like this here. Of course, it's gonna be a little you know, rough, but it's okay. We want to make sure that we can gain a pretty good outlook over this, right? So just like this is kind of what I'm looking at, right? So very nice resistance touch right here, right? We have a failure, right? We even have the test of the resistance, failure, and then we come back, test that support, validated upside, right? So these tests right here validate our formation, and this test here alongside this one validate our formation as well. Okay, so a bit of a, I almost wanted to say that this could be a bearish formation, but yes, I mean, nonetheless, let's look at the 12-hour though. It's still not returning anything from which it's lost. Okay, so this is very bearish. And if anything, it looks like this may actually continue to the downside here, okay? But there is a very important zone to consider for support. And I'm going to draw it as a box, okay? So that doesn't mean that we're going to bounce from there. I'm just saying that this is a very important area to kind of consider as support, right? So this range between, let's see, about 99 to 105 could be a support zone, okay? But if we capitulate beyond this, then the likelihood to come back up and validate it as resistance before a continuation to a lower target is also in the cards. So now that we can see the trend and we can see that we're at, let's see, test 1, 2, and 3, we now know that test number 3 is, you know, it's kind of notorious for giving us the bigger capitulation phase. All right, so let's validate our thesis now for the downside, because we may very well be incredibly wrong, right? So let's just make sure that we can see another type of metric here for us to consider. So daily stochastic momentum still suggesting some downside. However, it's slowing down just a little bit, isn't it? So that gives a little validity, or a little extra validity, to this target that we're looking at, right? So daily time frame RSI is also facing resistance from that 14-day simple. But remember, the gravitational zone from the bear strength percentile is sitting right down here. So very likely for us to find a type of bounce from there, right? So it's looking not bad whatsoever, okay, you guys? So let's go ahead and now take a look at the 30-minute immediate short-term time frame and see what else we have in line here, okay? So let's see, some downside to be faced on the 30-minute. We kind of already knew that though, right? So downside on the bi-hourly as well. Critical contraction with an upside pivot with a downside stochastic. Very likely for it to continue to the downside in the immediate short-term time frame. Okay, so 6-hour time frame, very similar setup here. In fact, you can see the faster moving average, the 3-period, start to curve towards the downside. This means that the asset is losing momentum. Okay, so that momentum to the upside is being lost. Okay, so this would very likely need to come back and validate something. It needs to validate something. Okay, so I mean, not only that, is the 6-hour time frame also has the little traits over here of a silly herpenderp, right? You have a little herpy derpy right here, head and shoulders. So if it is going to suggest a downside like that, then we could potentially, take a quick little metric here. It is being traded in the shorter time frame, but if we do have a type of neckline, then I would think it may be right at about here, and then we would put it right at that neckline, right? So meaning that it would fail somewhere about here, maybe in the next 2 days, and it takes us right down to the support of our channel. Okay, so it's curious that it would take us there. Let's go ahead and now refer to a Fibonacci ratio in an inverse manner, right? So let's take it like this and see if there's any confluence there as well. In fact, there is. The 4 spot 236, almost in direct confluence, right, of that 65-cent level. Okay, so if it does tend to fail below that, then we have the 4 spot 618 is there as well. Okay, so INM, historically speaking, I don't even think there's any price action down there to even consider. So let me see the 12-hour. Yeah, the 12-hour would be better. So 12-hour, actually there is. Nice. Okay, so there is some historical price action happening there. So it's, oh man, very, very interesting. So check this out. Let's go ahead and just put together, I'm going to highlight the 4 spot 236. Okay. More than anything. Okay. So I'm going to just do it like this. And I want you to see that the downside can be obstructed by this gap. Okay, so I know we already kind of covered that gap, right? It's still a little bit of a gap there. It doesn't matter. We have to make sure to keep areas of key resistances and key supports in mind in case we do decide to come back and use them if they were influential enough during that time of trading, right? So in this case, let's just go ahead and take a drawing like this, right? We'll extend our box all the way across, and that would then give us that support range. All right, so this is essentially what I'm looking at for INM, and I would just express some caution for my longs, okay, because this could be a pretty massive loss if you are already long this ticker. You're looking at a potential about a 40% to about a 43% loss here. In other words, this could be a good short as well. Okay, so nice, man. Thank you so much. One Fixin' Man, very, very cool to see. DJ, what's up? What's up? Good to see you here. I saw somebody say DJ, right? So I just wanted to kind of say hello to my bro himself, right? So if I got it, Mark. Thank you so much. And let me just dip it a little bit right here. Somebody was complaining that they didn't hear the music. They wanted to hear the music, right? But I think it's cool for us to dip it down a little bit now. It's looking very good. So Dr. 175, what's up? What's up? Good to see you here. All right. So yeah, guys, let's go ahead and continue on the analysis here. We need to make sure that we can validate and continue it. So we're at the 12-hour. We see the downside here being rejected from that 14-day simple. Very likely a downside there. Let's see the daily. Because we want to see how limited this can be. Daily finding that resistance from the 14-day. Okay, so it's looking like there could be a potential support found by the buy daily. So let me see how far we are from support on the 3-day. Okay, we're actually failing it there, so this could... all right, so guys, there is downside to be faced here on INM for the next few days. Unless, of course, the overall sentiment just decides to kind of rip the face open of the of the shorts, right, and just take this to the upside no matter what. But very likely a short-term bounce found from this target here at about 101, likely to come back and test a range of 112 to about 108 before a continuation to the downside. Very likely to face about the 65-cent range at the 4 spot 236, and also the gap that we found, the historical gap, right, from 12-hour time frame, and that gap is located on let's see, June 2022. All right, so very likely that we can actually find a pretty nice bounce from that area. So if we're going to trade INM, we're just a little bit early right now. Okay, so keep in mind also the market cap, right? So you're looking at 3.59 million. And you're looking at 316K on that float, right? So this is it's a high risk asset, right? So in my personal trade strategy, I would not hold this overnight, right? So kind of wait for that, kind of wait for these targets. I'm not I'm not perfect, guys. There's no way that I can ever predict what the markets are going to do. I can only express higher probability targets, right? So personal opinion here. Could be down here over the next few days. Potential upside found. Actually, guys, there could be an upside found late next week. Not the week coming up, the following week. Okay, because we're talking about Monday being tomorrow, right? So not this Friday, but maybe the end of next week at Thursday or Friday, we can start to see an uptick. And at that point, then you can actually start to consider a possible position. So let's go ahead and end our ticker symbol INM right there and continue on to the next one. And this is going to be ticker symbol CRTD. Guys, CRTD actually made the move that we were looking for, right? One Fixed Man, always awesome. Thank you so much, my dude. Sorry for so many chat fat finger. LOL, Mark Roach. All good, dude. All good. Oh my goodness, man. Yeah. Darren Gander, definitely. INM is a micro float. The micro plays are very, very dangerous. Okay, you guys, I do need to express that. All right, but anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and just take a quick look over here as this symmetrical triangle is doing something that I've seen actually now for about, I want to say about 4 or 5 months. I've been seeing symmetrical triangles fail before actually succeeding, creating a potential bear trap here. And it's curious that this formation is going to the upside. Because usually after a downside, a symmetrical triangle would indicate a continuation, meaning that downside, reaccumulation here, and then downside continuation. But no, we were getting this upside, and this upside was something that we were already seeing with the potentials of volatility and momentum, despite the formation that we were currently in. Right, so it is actually succeeding the volatility versus momentum play that we were seeing on the daily. The buy daily, we were seeing all these. Look, I'm just going to pull them up just like this so you can see what we were looking at. I mentioned several days ago, maybe even a couple of weeks ago, that we need to consolidate, and CRTD just needs to fill whatever it needs to fill before it can actually make an upside move. Earnings is coming up. Okay, so earnings coming up for CRTD could be a catalyst here. Okay, so remember, in the earnings plays, there's often serious trickery, right? So you don't want to be caught in the midst of that, right? So please be careful. I'm trying to just express to you how much care you should take when things like this are happening, right? Especially earnings that now they can be played as an inverse play. Right, so all this massive consolidation here within the chop box that we were talking about right now. Very curious that it did meet exactly our target, right? So I'm sorry, this line is wrong, guys. You just caught me slipping like crazy. Somebody take this guy out of here, throw him in the trash. I actually did think our wick went right all the way up to 26. I was quite impressed myself. All right, so let's get that out of there, as that actually is the target that we're looking for. Okay, very likely for us to come back into this target here, find a serious area of resistance here, and come back to the 20 cent area, and then we can actually see a rip to the upside. Okay, so we still have some validations, as there is. I mean, there's a lot of emotion here, you guys. Remember, so this is the buy daily time frame contracting from, I mean, critical expansion here, and we also have that upside pivot barely starting. So this could arguably have fired just on Friday. So now this is looking good. So CRTD, the 10K filing March 31st, very cool. Oh, nice. So that's another reason why it's actually probably ripping, right? So it came in with some pretty good news. Is that the case? Very nice. All right, so daily time frame, volatility versus momentum. Also, I really would have loved for this to have made it all the way to the 15th percentile, but it's close enough. Blah, blah, blah. Right? We still have a massive upside pivot here on the stochastics, and to be fair, the daily RSI is just moonshotting over here. So that's everything here is more indicative to the upside than not. So the probabilities are still within the bulls. Okay, so in fact, I would just have to favor for the bulls. Now let's just see if we can favor them in the shorter time frames, though. So starting off from, let's see. This is a corrective period on the 30 minutes, still suggesting upside. Okay, 30-minute immediate short term is suggesting upside. Wow, bi-hourly time frame also suggesting upside. Very curious. Still with the upside here on momentum. And we're about to reach critical expansion. So that means that volatility is rolling in heavily. Okay, so 6-hour time frame. Let's see what it's got. Very impressive here on the 6-hour. Okay, coming upside of the 15th percentile from critical contraction into expansion with very, very, very controlling upside here from the bulls. This is aggressive from the bulls, okay? So, and it is in the bullish control zone, and look at the RSI pivot, very dangerously pivoted towards the upside, right? So, very likely an upside to come in on Monday for CRTD, guys, and I am definitely eyeballing this target here. These sets of target, 2617 to 2787, could be a high likelihood tomorrow. Okay, and I am seeing here a very nice cross above the moving average. I'm talking about the volatility component itself on the 12-hour, okay? A huge upside pivot here in the gravitational zone of the bear weakness. Stochastic's about to enter the bullish control zone, okay? So, yeah, look at the daily upside pivots on everything. Bi-daily upside pivot on everything. Of course, the contraction from volatility, I get it. All right, yeah, that's a good thing to look at. So, wow, look at the mean. Look at the mean. Now that we have the price action that we got from Friday, the mean now is suggesting 29 cents, and our discretionary targets were 27.87 to 26.17. So we're lining up with the algo pretty nicely, okay? So the 3-day mean is suggesting 42, which is our other resistance here, and also our previous demand zone. Okay, so this, the CRTD is a ticker change tomorrow. What is it going to be? Please let me know, as this thing could be pricing in some stuff like that. I'm not sure if this actually can make it through a ticker change. Is that a bearish thing, by the way? Let me know. Yeah, I'm curious to know what it changes to. Is that actually true? Is that really something happening? CRTD is no longer going to be created? That's I would love to know the actual possibility behind that. Okay, so let me actually get a really quick zoom in here from the RSI, and I'm curious to see just how this cross is looking. Wow. Okay. The 3-day time frame has now made a cross above the 14-day simple, and it's in the gravitational zone of the bear strength. Guys, this is very likely going to continue to the upside for days. Okay, so CRTD is massively, massively bullish. Arca, if you get a chance, can you look at AMC? I still have like 74.5 tickers to look at, but you know it. You know how it goes, my dude. I will absolutely put it on the list. Okay, so let me actually put it on right now, so that I don't forget. Right. So let's see. Do I have anything that's a little more current? I'm sure this one here. Okay, perfect. But there it is. All right. So yeah, you guys. I'm definitely eyeballing that. I'm eyeballing that target tomorrow. Anywhere between 26 and 29 cents. Yeah. More than likely the 27.87 though, okay? But yes, it's looking very nice for this ticker, okay? Yeah, I'll go ahead and add that one into the list as well, okay? So let's just go ahead and put that in there for my dude Jimmy Jean Baptiste, okay? Or is it Jimmy Jean? Okay, I don't want to mess it all up, unless I already messed it all up by saying the second name, right? So oh my goodness. So is it VOCL? That is. Oh, you're talking about they will be either. Oh, that's what it's going to turn into. Sorry. Gotcha. All right. So, yep, that's going to do it for ticker symbol CRTD. And let's take a look at that ticker. What was it? VIRI, right? So I know there was a few requests regarding that ticker. So I wanna take a look at it and see what it's got, right? So One Fix It Man, always the best, man. Thank you so much, my dude. So yeah, let's dive right into that ticker and see what we have for retail. Okay, so as there very well could be some setup happening here. Let me just extend our channel now that we do have some relevant price action happening, right? So okay, very interesting shakeout here. This could be the start of something that's pretty powerful, and we did find a support back at the support bottom of the channel. Okay, so, and it's, let me see. Oh, this is a slight downside here. So what could this be indicative of? Okay, so I already see a buy formation here. Okay, so in fact, the channel is almost feeling like it could be invalidated, but there is another perspective to look at this from, okay? So if I can just shine some light on maybe, yeah, just like this. So we want this contact point and this contact point here, kind of paired with these right over here. Let me see if I can actually connect them in a better way. potentially something like this. Okay, so what we're looking at here is essentially a right-angled broadening wedge. Okay, so right-angled broadening wedges from an upside usually have an accumulation period before we can continue on to the upside. Okay, but in this case, let's see the tests. We have test 1, 2, and 3. Test number 3 is the biggest capitulation event. It recovered a very fast amount. I'm not sure that it actually recovered enough to kind of call this a bottom, but it's a possibility. And I'm saying because daily stochastics is suggesting a little bit of a downside here on VIRI from critical expansion. So let's dive in deep into the 30-minute immediate short term consolidation on the short term already. So let's see the bi-hourly and see what we have. Okay, so sorry you guys. Somebody's saying about algorithmic. I don't know what. All right, we'll figure it out later. So bi-hourly facing a little bit of resistance right up here, which could be indicative of facing resistance from, let's see, from the range of about 37.92, which has to do with this candle here, the wick low of this, the opening of this candle here, sorry, the closing of this candle here, the wick high of this one, and the wick high of our current price action. So 37.89 bi-hourly resistance. Okay, so let's go to the 6 hour and see what we have. Okay, so 6 hour also showing a potential resistance, but I would like to express that the 14-day simple moving average is upwards pivoted. Okay, so while we have the RSI upward pivot as well, this could indicate a succession of the 14-day simple, okay? But we have to keep a closer eye on that. 12-hour time frame finding support from that 14-day simple. Let's see what the daily has to say for us. Daily finding that support from that 14-day simple too. Could it be that we're actually making a potential run to the upside? Well, the likelihood is actually favoring the bulls on the upper time frames, specifically the bi-daily time frame. Okay, so now if we can actually focus on the bi-daily time frame, volatility versus momentum, you can see that we're starting to expand from critical contraction here. Huge expansion phase already starting. Definite upside pivot, very much in sync time frame here. I'm talking about the 3-day exponential and the 14-day exponential simple, with a massive upside suggestion entering the gravitational zone, potentially getting into that bullish control zone. So the bi-daily setup is quite impressive. Let me look at the 3-day. The 3-day as well, huge volatility to the upside, massive upside pivots here. There could be a consolidation period, guys, for the next, I don't know, 2 days maybe, right? And like I said, that 30, where was it? Let me give you that target one more time. Let's see. Let me load up an average and see if I can get something a little closer, right? So, not the reversion variant. I guess these are my old averages, right? So, I need some SMAs. I need some EMAs in there. Okay, so let me just add those EMAs real quick. Okay, so EMA 7 resistance. Okay, so we have the SMA 50, 3452. Yeah, 3452 to 3357, very likely a loading zone. And this would then actually start to create an upside here. But I wouldn't actually trust the upside until we validate or confirm the breakout of this formation here and then start to validate this as a resistance area, as a support area, right? And then it can continue on to the upside. All right, so, but it is... the data is kind of indicative of that, is indicative of an upside continuation here, okay, and very likely to happen within the next few days. So I would say 1 to 2 days of reaccumulation followed by some consolidation, and then into next week or the end of this week, we could start seeing a pretty nice thrust to the upside here. Okay, so let me see if it can actually, wow. The way that you find the price objective from this formation is actually taking a trend line from the widest point of the converging trend lines, right? So just like this, you would actually take into consideration a possible target of 74 cents, of which is, let me see, historically, yeah, there's no historical value back there, right? So it would be a little sketchy to kind of just trust that. Another way that we can validate that potential target would be a range high to range low fib And it looks like it would be taking us right in between the 2-spot 618 and the 2-spot 272. Very credible area, in fact. Okay, so yeah, I'm liking the price action. I'm liking what's happening here. Okay, so keep an eye on VIRI because it could be loading zone tomorrow before a pretty nice rip. Okay, so at least that's what the charts are saying, right? So that's going to do it for ticker symbol VIRI. And very nice, actually. I like it. So remember, guys, just practice your risk management. Make sure to stick to the plan, okay? Know your exit points before you enter and know the reason why you're even entering, okay? So that's a good way to kind of keep your liquidity or capital for future potentials, right? So, or for the next day of trading, quite literally. Okay, so now moving on to ticker symbol ARQQ. And I know this was that ticker that I was talking to you guys about, making a very likely upside, right? It definitely got it. I don't remember running a back test on this, however, but I did notice a setup on the higher time frame, volatility versus momentum. So the daily is still kind of pivoted towards the upside here in the bullish control zone. Upside pivot still being suggested, and we're still expanding, even though it's fluctuating or oscillating within the center of the volatility spectrum, right? I'm talking about 0% to about 100%. We're oscillating between that middle and a sine wave, right? So it's still, in a sense, expanding. Okay, so now I'm curious to see what the buy daily looks like now for ARQQ. Oh man, this is very powerful. Okay, you guys, so we are massively contracting here. Very attractive upside pivot on ARQQ. Very likely for this to continue to the upside in the next days, actually. So now a huge signal being fired on the 3-day time frame. And in fact, this is about to, okay, the 3-day time frame is very, very important here. Why are we saying the importance, or why are we expressing the importance? Well, first of all, you already see the upside pivot on momentum on the stochastics oscillator. We also see the contraction phase beginning from volatility. Not only that, but please notice that in 16 hours and 38 minutes, this 3-day massive candle would essentially close green, and it would be another validator as a continuation to the upside. So that's very, very powerful. When this time frame closes, if it does close in the green, that is, you would likely see the stochastics oscillator pitched even further to the upside, and thus firing the EMA 7 officially to the upside, and we would actually be contracting even deeper. Okay, that's the kind of setup that you would essentially kind of wait for, right, or look out for. As well here, this is quite indicative of a continuation to the upside. Notice the cross above the 14-day simple moving average on the RSI, entering the gravitational zone of the bear strength percentile. This is very nice, guys. Okay, so ARQQ is in fact realizing what we talked about a few days ago. I like it. So 30-minute immediate short-term time frame. Let's see what it's got. Accumulation period looks to be imminent, very likely to touch down at about this zone that we've been looking at, right? So about 138. All right, just right to our moving average. So let's go ahead and look at the buy hourly here. And please notice that the buy hourly could also be facing a potential retracement too. If we were to face a retracement, then let me see if I can actually take a look at the EMA 7 period. And yeah, okay, so the 7 period would essentially be our 136. Okay, so yeah, so 136 is looking pretty it's looking consistent here. Okay, so 136. Let's go to the 6 hour and see what else we have. Okay, so 6 hour time frame, upside pivot on the RSI, entering the overbought percentile, which I mean it's not bad. It's barely entering it. We have huge volatility expanding here, but a little bit of weakening. I mean, it could very well be doing this, right? So it could be indicative of an upside, is what I'm saying. So 12-hour time frame. Let's see what it's got. 12-hour absolutely pivoted towards the upside, definitely suggesting a continuation to the upside from the bullish control zone here, and it's essentially still just like the other time frames expanding, right? So let's see. Yeah, a daily time frame still upside to go. Buy daily, massive upside to go, upside on that stochastic. Yeah, the upside, the upper time frames is where it's at, guys. And oh man, look at this, barely starting to contract here on the 5-day, and we're starting to get an upside pivot. I know that we have an upside pivot, but we also have to treat it like this one, just in case it fakes out, right? So, but this is huge, because the thing is that when it faked out here, we were still at critical volatility. We were still maxed out. The difference now is that we have an upside pivot with contraction. That's a very different situation. Michael Dixon, I got your email regarding the ArcMastersCourse, okay? So I'll go ahead and reply to you and get you enrolled, okay? Which, by the way, guys, there's still a few seats left for the ArcMastersCourse, so definitely refer to the email in the description below and get yourself enrolled. We'll get you set up, okay? All right, so now, ARQQ very likely going to see a continuation to the upside for a few days after the reaccumulation period, potentially tomorrow, right? So we could see a continuation to the upside starting as soon as maybe the end of the day tomorrow or even Tuesday, okay? So if it does surpass Tuesday, we don't see that upside yet. We can see Wednesday as well, okay? So, but everything is kind of suggesting that upside to be pretty imminent here, okay? So watch your longs. This is a high-risk play. Take a look at your market cap sitting at 187.6 mil, and you have a float at about 33.7 mil. So, I mean, it's a micro, right? So just keep an eye on your assets on this. It's definitely a big risk to keep this, to kind of keep it lingering in your portfolio overnight, okay? So just be very careful. They did a $20 million offering on February 17th. February 17th might not be closed yet. Wow. Interesting. Thanks, Darren. That's very interesting. All right. So, guys, that's going to do it for ticker symbol ARQQ. Let's go ahead and move on to the next ticker here. And I am surprised that I actually didn't add it here, but it's okay. Let me just go ahead and move on to SIVBQ. Okay. I think that was actually requested today. SIVBQ on my notes. Perfect. I have it there. And this right now. Okay. Thanks, man. Dude, you guys are so diligent helping me out like that. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Wow. What the hell happened here? And it's a very interesting capitulation phase from this ticker, because look at the massive amount of earnings beats that it's had historically, right? So this is, I mean, our earnings are killing it here. So they have very little misses on their earnings. So let me just see what it's doing since the beginning of the trading history. Did they just add the Q to this to the bank here? Is that the case? It wasn't always a Q in there, was it? Wasn't it just SIVB? I think I remember charting this just a few days ago too. But man, oh man. It's very similar to the broader markets, to be honest, but what I'm saying here is that it should have never capitulated this low, which now on the 5-day, I need to see the 200-day moving average. Let me load up my ARC averages, right? So here we go. Wow. That is so crappy. Let me see what the 12-hour looks like, right? So Bump Mang, what's up, man? Would please do boil. Ooh, I will try to add it. This is actually no. I'm gonna put it on the list, right? So I'll put it on here. But this is actually SIVBQ would potentially be my last ticker for tonight. But I have it on there, okay, my dude. So as the stream is actually, I believe it, 8:30. So just keep an eye on the next stream. I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow too, as well. Okay, you guys. So keep an eye on that as well. So, the bankruptcy. I get it. Jeez. And it was the bailout, right? So, DJ saying Q, definitely. This is great for day trading. Yeah, I've been hearing that actually quite often. So, this is having a lot of trouble maintaining what level? Let's see what level this is. Man, I can't even do it like that. So, let me just put a line here and pull up the 5-day chart. Just like this, and 146, right? So let me now get the 5-day chart, and 146 is absolutely the 1992 lows, right? So wow. So actually it was the I think 1988 we started a bear cycle, right? So I think it was 88. Yeah, right about here, 88 or 89, we started a bear cycle. Huge just indecision here and massive capitulations. That was very volatile. So if we are struggling to maintain this target, then don't tell me that. Is that serious? This thing already zeroed? Guys, this thing went to 1 cent. Is that true? No way. This is so dangerous. Holy crap. Easy money here. It did. This thing freaking rugged. This thing rugged all the way down. Oh my goodness. All right, so I have to, I mean, I know that there's a bailout happening and all that stuff, but please remember that they are the ones who kind of sparked the fire here, or they became the popular ones, at least to put it into lighter perspective here, right? So this could be a dead cat, man. This could very well be a dead cat bounce, as it is holding resistance from a very technical perspective, right? So that 1992 low, I mean, it must have been a tough time for a lot of people, is what I'm saying. So the more important your support or resistance, the more likely it'll actually realize, right? So ticker symbol Tesla was looked at 7:34 p.m. So please go ahead and refer right back to my time right up here. You see it? Just go back at 7:34 and you'll see Tesla there, okay? So good deal here. Good deal here. All right, so Mark Roach saying Arca rating A+ here. My dude, thank you so much. And invest $5,000 every other day and pull with an easy 15%. Barry, you are killing it. Yeah, in fact, this would be, I mean, this candle here was the validator for a continuation to the upside after this massive hammer, right? So everybody, man, whoever bought at 1 cent is killing it. Very good price action here. Very interesting. Oh my goodness, man. So yeah, not a problem, Kush. Please, definitely check it out, and I definitely appreciate you coming by, right? So Beastie saying, sup, bud, love the vids, really appreciate that, man. I'm gonna try to put them out as often as I could so that we can keep the retail aware, right, or informed, better said. So non-financial advice. Remember, guys, this is just entertainment, as I cannot suggest for you to buy or sell any assets whatsoever. Okay, do your own due diligence. Everything will be cool. All right, so yeah, let's go ahead and move on with volatility here, because if this thing is suggesting a massive failure, then we should probably kind of be aware of that, right? So could it be a pretty nice short play? Could it be a nice long play? Well, there is still downside to be faced here on the daily, okay? And we are still, 100% capped in volatility, of course. This is very likely going to continue printing red bars. The red bars are indicating a daily read. So every time a day passes by where we're maxed out in volatility, a red bar would print. And inversely, the same for contraction, right? When we're fully contracted, a blue bar would print. Okay, so the setup is looking like it could be close. But if you start moving into the daily, onto the bi-daily and the 3-day, you'll likely see a little bit earlier, like over here in for instance, with a further downside pivot. So jump into the buy daily, see what I mean? So you have now a further downside pivot. 3-day would be even more significant than that, just like this. See what I mean? A huge drop there. So this is not done. Okay, so even the 5-day, huge downside, right? So whatever upside that we're looking at is very much short-lived, and it's suggesting it through the volatility itself. Okay, so let's look at the 12-hour volatility versus momentum. Okay, so this is a pretty nice, very attractive looking setup. If we did get an upside from this 12-hour, the best case scenario would actually be about 1352, but 1352 from 90 cents doesn't seem to be so realistic, does it? So now the 8-hour time frame, also similar to that 12-hour volatility versus momentum. Let's see the 6-hour time frame. Okay, so the 6-hour time frame is showing that the 14-day simple moving average is moving towards the upside, but the faster time frame has rejected that, which means that we could actually fail the 14-day simple and create a little bit of a bull trap here, since we are at the resistance of actually we just converted the SMA 10 into a support here in the 6-hour. So the upside here could be limited to about 145 before a continuation to the downside. That's a very, very attractive scalp there, though, just to be clear with you, right? So just if you're curious, it looks small, right? But take it into account like this. That is an 60% move to the upside. Just trading the volatility within SIVBQ is very, very attractive, and it could very well present a very nice opportunity to the upside. So Meta USA saying SIVBQ 4-hour MACD cross. Oh, really? Okay. Actually, I do have a way to look at that as well, except I want to look at it from the advanced MACD, so or the enhanced MACD. So let me pull up my invites only and take a look at the ARC enhanced MACD. Wow. Okay. So yes, there is a cross happening, and there's also a bull signal being printed on the 4-hour. So yeah, I can see a pretty significant upside coming in the shorter term time frame, but there is a larger pullback to be faced here in the following days. Okay. So just know that the opportunity for a long signal here is nice. The top side target that I just gave you is the top side. Okay. That doesn't mean that it's going to go all the way up there. I'm just giving you relevant areas of resistance, right? So if we can get a little more detailed as to where we can face some resistance, then we can take an overall range from literally the 4-hour high here to the I'm gonna modify that. Actually, I'm gonna do it from because of this candle here. This is a huge, it's to 1 cent. I don't want to take into consideration that. So this range right over here, okay, so this would be a little better portrayed for us, right? So if we can actually face a resistance, very likely it could be between the space of about 112 to about 108, and that's a little more realistic, to be honest, right? So let's go ahead and do it like this, right? So 103, and we'll measure the gain. We'll measure the gain itself, right? So actually to about 121 could just find the between that, right? The between could be about 112, right? So the trade from the current price action to the lowest area could be already an almost 15% trade. So that's already someone's whole day of trading. All right. So Dante's Inferno here. What's up, Arca? My dude, what is up? What is up? Good to see you here. Okay. So now the upside target is 32%. So just so you can see just how powerful this thing can actually present scalping opportunities. So I like it. I like it, guys. There is a chop box here, okay? So that's what I'm basically telling you, that for the next few days, while price kind of consolidates or just trades around this chop area, then the longer that it stays here, the better the chances are for an upside. But also remember that we're in the accumulation of a potential bear move here for a very powerful downside move regarding, actually, was it downside or upside in the volatility versus momentum? Let me see. A downside. Okay, so the continuation to the downside here. We still have 2 days, 17 hours to close this 5-day iteration. Still has a downside pivot. So the downside, I'm honestly still favoring the bears more than anything, right? So, but now as we start to get the grain and the crap out of here, you'll start to see that there is still a chance to actually make this a validation candle for this very, very bullish candle. So a huge 5-day hammer candle could present a continuation here, okay? But this candle would be essentially the validator for an upside. All right, you guys, so let's see. Dante's, what's up, man? You're saying I bought 3 SIVB at $82 a share just to see how things would play out. You live and learn. No. Wow, you could hedge this position. Why? At this point, I would feel, personally, I would feel so defeated from this ticker that I would honestly stay away. Because that is kind of a huge drop, right? You're talking about max loss beyond, I'm talking about your whole entry loss, right? So that is not good to hear, and I do feel for you, my friend. It will go to 000 in my opinion. You think it could actually create 3 zeros and something? Wow. That's I mean, they're the culprits here, man. They're the ones. They created the perfect storm, right? Oh my goodness, man. You bought a few weeks ago? Okay, I see. All right, you guys. So I very much appreciate everybody for coming by. Remember that the ArcMasters course is still available to you, okay? So just refer to the links in the description below. Get the email there, and I'll get you enrolled, okay? We're going to go over everything fundamental about trading from the very beginning all the way up to advanced topics and mathematical concepts. Okay, so please remember, guys, to go ahead and refer to those links and get enrolled now before it's too late, as this will be the last time that I will do ArcMasters course, at least for a very long time. I'm not going to continue teaching like this. This would be the last one in April, right, you guys? So this month, actually, maybe in the following week or the next week, that would be kind of my cap here. I'm never going to do that again, as I do see it kind of. I think I just wanted to give back to the community for a little bit, and then I could continue my trading, right? So because that's what I do, I trade. Dr. 175 saying thank you for thinking about us, East Coasters, bro. Not a problem, man. I very much appreciate everybody here. I appreciate all of you, right? So look at the likes versus viewers. Amazing. Absolutely, man. Thank you guys. Thank you guys very much for getting those likes up there, right? Please remember to like the video on your way out, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, okay? So let's see. Night all got to go GLTA trading this week. Nice, man. All right, you guys. So yeah, let's go ahead and just cut it off right here, you guys. It's been very nice with all of you, okay? So with that said, I wish you a very, very good night. And please, of course, my moderator, Samantha H. One Fix It, man, you've been helping me so much, my dude. That means so much, okay? Hound, love you, buddy. Mark Roach, always in the biz right here. Sebastian Lim, right? And moderator Cal L down buried in the deep background, right? I love you, buddy. And DJ, always good to have you here, okay, you guys? Thank you for all your participation, guys. But with that said, I wish everybody very well. Samantha H, I remember my email, okay? I just messaged you, so go ahead and refer to that. I really meant what I said there, okay? I wish you well. A very good night, and I will catch you at the bell mañana. Adios, you guys.